So let's begin in a comfortable seated position. So you can sit cross-legged, you can sit on a cushion, you can sit on your knees. We're going to be here for a few moments, so just make sure you can sit comfortably for a couple of minutes. And so we're going to do a few techniques at the beginning to sort of relax you. It's called face yoga. Today's practice is going to be very much heart-centric, and also I just sort of generally have been reading more about the chakras lately, and so I'm going to be focusing kind of on the three chakras here, your throat chakra, heart chakra, and abdominal chakra, with today's practice, and some of the things on for your third eye chakra. So I'm not going to get into all of those things, but broadly looking to sort of open your heart, yeah, that's about it. I feel like we need love at this moment, so we're going to open our hearts and send love out into the universe and bring it back to ourselves. So wherever you're sitting, go ahead and take one hand and place it right there in your sacrum on your heart center, which is where your heart chakra lies, and take your other hand and place it on your abdominal area, kind of right where your belly button, where your navel is. And you can either close your eyes or just focus on a point, soften your eyes, and look kind of on the floor in front of you if you'd rather not close your eyes. And just take a moment here to observe. Just watch, almost like you're inside of yourself. Watch your breath. Where are you feeling it? Is it going more in your right nostril, more in your left nostril? Are you breathing just to the hand on your heart, or are you breathing all the way down to your abdomen? These are not questions of judgment. It's just asking you to bring that awareness to your breath. Do a little scan over your body. Notice where you're holding tension. Notice where you might be holding stress. And do a mental and emotional check-in for yourself without any judgment. Just once again, what is your state of mind right now? What is your emotional state? Is your mind here, or is it a million miles away? What is the state of your heart, your well-being, your emotion? All of these questions are without any judgment, without any expectation. I expect nothing of you, and I don't want you in any way to think of that you're supposed to be feeling a certain way in a certain part of your body. I just want you to bring the awareness to it. That is all. And we'll do this again at the end to see if there's any difference, and maybe there's not, and that's okay. And begin taking some nice deep breaths. So inhaling, and as you do, feel the hand on your heart rise. Feel the hand on your abdomen rise. And then as you exhale, feel them fall in succession. And just begin breathing that way with some regularity. Inhaling deep all the way, filling your abdomen, your ribs, your chest. And as you exhale, releasing it all. Sometimes I'll ask if you want to set an intention for your practice. My intention, as I said, for all of you is that I want to do some heart opening, do some relaxation, bring a moment of peace and joy into your life, into this pretty chaotic period. But that doesn't have to be your intention. This is your practice, your time on the mat. So take a moment, you can set an intention. Sometimes it's nice to dedicate a practice to a particular person, to a group of people, to the world at large. There's a practice in the Buddhist tradition called loving kindness. It starts with the idea of giving love and grace to ourselves, and then expanding that love out to our immediate family, our immediate community and friends, Expanding that out to people that we come in contact with, but perhaps we do not know. Expanding that out to the wider world, and that includes people we don't even like that much. But the idea of sending love all the way out there. So if that's something that resonates with you, you can think about that. Go ahead and release your hands from where they are. Take an inhale, stretch your arms up overhead just to give yourself a stretch. Exhale, release them back down to your sides, and if you need to, just maybe shake them out. You might have been holding tension in your shoulders, so just give your hands a shake. And then take your finger, index finger of either hand, and put it on your, right in the little indentation in your collarbone. There's like a little hole there. And just apply a little bit of pressure there. This is where the throat chakra is, and it's also an acupressure point. And then give it a little tap. So you're just sort of tapping in that little indentation, that little spot. It shouldn't feel uncomfortable. Don't feel like you're choking yourself or anything like that. Just a little tap. It's not really on your throat, it's just below your throat. Just a tap, 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 tap. And continue breathing, that same inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Nothing changes. Inhaling, exhaling, maybe practicing, excuse me, the Ujjayi breath. So as you exhale through your nose, you create a little bit of a sound, a vocalization. And then we're going to move this tapping up in between our third eye. So find the third eye point, which is right there between your eyebrows and your forehead, and begin to sort of tap right there. It's no specific spot, but it's basically between your eyebrows. And then move your finger just straight up your forehead. Keep tapping, moving it up to your hairline. And then just move it back down. So you're just tapping in a straight line right in the middle of your forehead. From the middle of your eyebrows, straight up to your hairline, and back down. And you're continuing to breathe, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. And then pause with that, and you're going to take both hands and gently swoop them across your forehead. So take your fingers on one temple and gently drag your hand across your forehead like you're wiping sweat from your brow, but more gently. And then the other direction, from temple across your forehead. So be careful here, as my friend Danielle Collins says, you don't want to drag your skin. So it's really, really light, feather touch. It's just meant to relax, so you're not really massaging your forehead. You're just dragging your fingers across, creating some relaxation in those muscles. Continuing to breathe. And then bring your hands, fingers tip to fingertips, right in the middle of your forehead. So fingers are right in that line where we were tapping a moment ago. And gently drag your fingers away from each other. Again, without pulling the skin, just gently move the fingers down your jaw, and then pause where your jawbone sort of intersects with your skull. So it's right where your ears are, just in from your earlobes. Just give a press there. This is also an acupressure point. So you can press, or you can make little tiny circles if you want. And notice your jaw is an area where we often hold tension and don't realize it. You might be clenching your jaw. If any of you are teeth grinders, I learned I was a tooth grinder. So we hold weird tension there that you might not be aware of. So just massage there. Releasing any tension there. Continuing to breathe. And then finally, we're going to take the backs of your hands, tilt your head up slightly, and just take the backs of your hands and sort of tap along your jaw. So right under your chin, out a ways. I find this really difficult from a coordination perspective. My hands don't move in rhythm. I have no future as a drummer, but you're just sort of tapping, tapping, tapping with the backs of your hands along your jaw, and your head is ever so slightly tilted up. We don't want to create pressure in the back of our neck, but just to give space here. Another breath or two here. Tapping, tapping, tapping. Absolutely no rhythm or coordination if you're me. Good, and then release that, bring your head to neutral and just shake out your hands for a moment. You can continue to have your eyes closed or open them at any point, but let's just release your head down to the right, letting your ear drop towards the right shoulder. If you'd like to deepen this, extend your left hand out away from you so it can reach to the mat. If you're up elevated, you might not reach the mat. If you're cross-legged, you probably will. And if you want to deepen that even further, you can take your right hand and just drape it across your temples so the weight of your hand and your arm tilts your head down. But let's force it. Just a little bit of a stretch. Taking a couple of breaths here, trying to let the neck release because that's an area too where we hold tension. And lift the head up through center. Pause for a moment in center and then release it down to the other side. Same option, you can stretch the opposite hand out on the floor. That should just help create a long line of stretch here. And then the hand that you're tilting towards, so if you're doing left ear to left shoulder, your left hand comes up, grabs the side of your head, and just gently let the weight bring you down. Again, not tugging. You don't want to ever force anything here. And that might be too much. Maybe that's too much of a stretch and you can skip any of these parts. I'm just giving you ideas, suggestions. You do what's best for you. And releasing that. Once you get back to center, drop your head forward. If it feels good, you can bring your hands behind your head, clasp your hands together, and just sort of press on the back of your skull. Again, that might not be necessary, or maybe it doesn't feel good to you. For me, it kind of helps stretch that top part of the neck, and I hold lots of tension up there. And release that. And then just turn your head over one shoulder, over the other shoulder. A couple times as if to say no. Coming back to center, nod your head up and down a few times as if to very emphatically say yes. And then pausing, wag your head side to side as if to say maybe. Good, and then come back to center. One more inhale up, stretching the arms overhead, pressing the palms together. Reach them high overhead. Draw your hands downward, bringing the hands to the top of the head, taking a stop at the crown chakra for a moment. And then bring your thumbs to that third eye area. Take a breath there. And then bring your thumbs to your heart chakra. Take a breath there. And then release. All right. And come down to your backs. So move anything out of the way that might have been propping you up. And go ahead and hold on to the backs of your thighs. Bring yourself all the way down. Stretch your arms overhead. Stretch your legs below. Ooh, my legs need a little shake from sitting on my knees. So do what you need to do there. Draw one knee into the body. It doesn't matter which. Just give it a hug. Roll the ankle. Pressing the opposite leg away, long on the mat. And then switch, bring the other leg in, hugging that knee into the chest. Release the opposite leg onto the floor. Rolling that ankle. Great. And then bring both feet to your floor. So one disclaimer, these are all positions or postures that you guys have done with me before. But when we're focusing on the heart chakra, it can be emotional, particularly because emotions are running high right now. So just be gentle to yourself. And if anything is ever too much, you can always come back. And equally, if you feel like there's emotions there that need to be let go, no one's around you. So it's all good. Just take care of you. So bending your knees, placing your feet on the mat, bringing your palms to the mat, rolling your shoulders down and back. Gentle tuck of the chin towards the chest, just to release pressure off the back of your neck. Really focusing on your spine. We're going to lift up one vertebra at a time. So as you inhale, slowly begin to tilt the pelvis and the hips, and then imagine your belly button, a string from your belly button is lifting you up, and you're peeling one vertebra at a time off the mat until you come up to your shoulders using the full breath. And then as you exhale through nose, or if you want to exhale through your mouth, that would be fine too. Pull that belly button in like it's pulling against that string, and you're lowering down one vertebra at a time. So nice and slow and controlled here. So you move at your own pace of your own breath, inhaling, but the slower the better. Once you come all the way to the top, work on that exhale, or when your breath runs out. So if you reach the top, or you don't reach the top rather, and you run out of inhale, that's fine. Just exhale and begin lowering down from there. You're not necessarily going to exactly match your breath to your movement, or your movement to your breath. That's okay. The idea is just simply that you're inhaling and exhaling, and as you do so, you're moving your body. If you want to deepen this a little bit, you can add the arms into it. So as you inhale, your arms reach up overhead, and as you exhale, they extend back down by your sides. So we're starting to work through the shoulder. Inhale, reaching the arms up overhead, stretching long. And as you exhale, come back down. Again, keeping the same breath, never feeling like you need to match me. And then whenever you next inhale, go ahead and hold that up position, but bring your hands back down by your sides. So you're just lifting up your hips and pelvis. And if you'd like to deepen this, we'll hold for a moment so you can walk your hands under your body, clasp your hands together, and maybe press up a little more. Try to not let the knees flare out. So you have to engage your gluteal muscles here to keep your thighs parallel. Take a deep breath here, another deep belly breath. So trying to expand your abdomen, which is really difficult from this position. Lift up on the balls of your feet and lower back down. And then just do that a few times, rocking up and down. Up on the balls of your feet, back down to your heels. It's really nice on your feet actually to do this. The higher up you can go on the balls of your feet, it's a nice stretch for your feet. Also engaging your glutes a bit. And then pause with that, bring the heels to the mat, release your hands, and slowly lower yourself all the way back down. Give yourself a hug and a little rock from side to side. Good, bring yourself up and come to forearms. We're going to do a little bit of abdominal work here. So thinking of the abdominal muscles, also the chakra that lies there. That's our source of confidence, according to the chakra system. So you're on your forearms, chest is lifting, abdomen is in. Lift your knees up to tabletop. So knees are more or less over hips, feet are pointing out. And we're just going to bring our knees to one side and the other. So our upper body is still, and we're just twisting. They probably don't go to the mat. I mean, I guess maybe they could, depending on how you're shaped. Mine don't go anywhere near the mat. And I can't see y'all, so. But just twisting, inhaling, exhaling as you twist. Try to stay lifted. Try not to collapse through the shoulders. It's just a rock and a rock. Do one more each side. Finish so you're even on the opposite side from where you started. And then place your feet on the floor. And then push yourself up. Bring your hands to heart center. Sit up tall, long spine, and then hinge yourself backwards. So catching yourself with your abs, chest is lifted, shoulders are back, and we're just going to twist to one side and the other. So I kind of like this because it's kind of like we wring out the bottom half of the body, and now we're wringing out the top half of the body. We're working our core, our abdominal muscles, and we're really stimulating that chakra there, right there at our belly button. So we twisted below, and now we're twisting above. Again, do one more each side. Always try to make yourself even, and then bring yourself all the way up. Extending your legs, coming to staff pose, Dandasana. Sitting right up nice and tall, tailbone right under you, belly button pulled in, shoulders down and back. Separate your legs. We're going to do a Pilates stretch here. So this is called the saw. We're going to reach your opposite pinky finger towards your opposite pinky toe. And it's called the saw because it's in action as you're sawing off your toe, as opposed to bouncing up and down, okay? So every time you exhale, think about reaching a little bit further. So our arms are going to extend to our sides, shoulders down and back. Pull the belly button in. Doesn't matter which direction you go first. Take an inhale. Twist, front arm forward, back arm back. Exhale. Exhale, exhale. Inhale back to center. Twist the other way. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale back to center. Keep going. So your ear turns towards that knee where you're reaching. Exhale fully. Each time you exhale, it should allow you to stretch a little bit further because there's less air in your lungs, so there's less physical stuff keeping you there from reaching. Again, one more time, each side. I'm exhaling through my mouth only because it's Pilates. You don't have to. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Back to center. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, release forward and let your head hang over in Paschimottanasana. Take a couple breaths. Again, as always, flexing your feet increases the stretch in your hamstrings, but that might be too much, so you decide. One more inhale here. And then go ahead and roll yourself up. Spin yourself around. Reach your hands forward and sit back on your heels, bringing your forehead to the mat in child's pose. Take one breath here and releasing it. Coming up onto hands and knees. Moving through a couple of cow-cats. So we're going to do, as we've done before, I think, sets of 3 and 3. So we're going to do 3 cow-cats where we'll add the leg. And then we're going to do 3 where you can add the arm with the leg, or you can just do the arm if it's too much to do both together. Okay? So continuing that spinal movement, so more focused on spine than abs this time around, so our back is moving. Whenever you're ready, on the inhale, the leg extends out. On the exhale, it draws in. Exhale, knee to chin, and then inhale, extend. Again, don't have to match me, just a general idea. And if you do more or less than 3, that's okay too. So once you've done 3 of whatever leg you're doing, you can choose to add the opposite arm, or you can put that leg down and you can just do the arm on its own. Trying to keep hips stable, breath matching movement or moving matching breath, but continuing that lovely spinal movement. Once you've done 3-ish, on your next one, extend and hold everything out. So again, it could be just arm, just leg, or both. Reaching foot away from body, pressing through the heel, reaching hand away from body, but pulling the shoulder back. So you're not stretching out of your shoulder. Your shoulder is back in the shoulder socket, but your fingers are reaching forward. Good. Place that hand down, coming back to hands and knees. Same thing other side, beginning just with the action of cow-cat. Always initiating from the tailbone, always ending with the top of the head. Maybe even exaggerating as you open up into your cow, really pressing that chest forward. And again, once you've done 3-ish, you can start on either the exhale or the inhale, whichever makes more sense for you. And you're going to add the opposite leg. And after a few of those, your option to put down the leg or just add the arm with it. Your breath, your movement. And again, once you've done about 3 of those, extend either just the arm, just the leg, or both, pressing away in your bird dog, reaching fingertips away, pressing heel away, but pulling the shoulder back into the socket. Belly button pulling in. And release that down, coming to all fours. Lower yourself all the way down onto the mat. So we're going to work through sort of a variation of swan in Pilates. So bringing your hands right under your shoulders. It's cobra, but it becomes an unassisted cobra. So hands are right under shoulders. Just here, just inhale and lift up a little ways. Just tiny, tiny baby cobra. And exhale back down. Again, inhale, just lifting the chest. Hands are hovering, no weight in your hands. See if you can lift your hands right above the mat. So as you inhale, it's just your body working to lift you up, not your hands. All right, so we're gonna deepen this. So you begin inhaling to lift the chest and chin without using your hands. When you can't come up any further, you've contracted the glutes, you're pulling the belly button in. Then you press into your hands and you come up as high as you want into a cobra. And then you lower down with control, and then whenever you can, you release the hands so your body brings you the rest of the way down. So inhale, part way up, pressing into the hands to finish. Exhale, begin to release, and releasing the hands when you can. Gluteal muscles are staying contracted, abdominal muscles are staying contracted. Shoulders are down, elbows are back the whole time. Really controlled here, nice and slow. At your own pace, inhaling up, exhaling, and really working hard in that beginning part and that ending part where you're not using your hands, you're just using your muscles of the rest of your body. Next time you release down, go ahead and press it all the way down. Curl your toes under, push yourself up through plank to downward facing dog. Rolling the shoulders down and away from the ears. Pressing the heels towards the mat. Maybe jogging through, bending one knee, bending the other knee. Taking a breath here. Think about pushing your sit bones up to the sky, less about pressing your chest towards your thighs, and think about lifting the sit bones up. Let your head be free, maybe give it a shake. From here, let's do a lion's breath. So inhale through your nose. Exhale, open your mouth, stick out your tongue. 2 more. Inhale. Last one. Inhale. Good. Step the right foot forward, dropping down onto the back knee. Rising up, hinging forward, extending those arms up, bringing those arms to one of my favorites, our cactus posture. Great heart opening posture. Chest angling towards the ceiling, bringing the hands behind the back, clasping them together, opening the chest a little bit more towards the ceiling, pulling the shoulders down and away. Good. Rising up, bringing the hands to heart center, twisting, bringing the elbow on top of the thigh or locking it against the thigh, turning and looking over the right shoulder, hands at heart center. Didn't see me just almost fall over. Good. Bringing the hands to the mat. Press into it. Step the right foot up. Forward fold. Letting yourself go. Shaking it out here. Bend the knees. Step your right foot back. Dropping down to your right knee. Rising up. Hinging forward. Bringing those arms up, dropping them into our cactus, opening chest towards the sky. Clasping hands behind the back, opening the chest. Taking an inhale. Good, bringing yourself back up. Hands at heart center, again twisting. Elbow can come to the thigh, elbow can lock all the way over. Hands at heart center, turning and looking past the shoulder. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, releasing that back to center, bringing the hands to the mat, curling the toes under, pushing yourself up, coming to plank or to modified plank. Holding here for a moment. Lifting the belly up. Transitioning to a modified side plank. So I'm going to go right knee on the mat. Left leg extends, left arm reaches over. And bringing knee to elbow. So drawing knee into elbow and extend. Knee to elbow and extend. Nice and controlled. 3 more. Exhale as you bring it in. And last one. Good, pivoting that back over, coming to plank. Lowering all the way down, chest, chin, and hips. Pressing up to your regular cobra, shoulders down and back. Curling the toes under, pushing up and back, coming to your downward facing dog. Deep inhalation, exhalation here. Inhale, right leg coming up, swinging forward, planting, rising up to your high lunge. Hands at the heart, pressing back through that back heel. Nice deep bend here in the front leg. If you'd like, bring those arms up. Same idea, bringing them to the cactus, pulling shoulders away, opening through the chest and the heart, and then bringing the hands behind the back, clasping them together, gazing towards the ceiling. Bring hands back to heart center. As you pivot, long edge of the mat, toes out, heels in. Good, and coming down into a variation of goddess with our hands at our heart. And we're going to just twist a little bit here. So you might not be in such a deep, deep squat. See if you can stay lifted through the torso and twist over one side and over the other. Try not to come forward. One more time each side. Finishing on the opposite side from where you started. Rising up, hands behind the back, feet parallel. Inhale, opening towards the sky. Exhale, releasing that forward. Arms dropping towards the mat. Tailbone lifting up. Taking a breath. Pulling the hands back to lift yourself all the way up. Pivoting towards the front of the mat, bending the knee, placing the hands on the mat. Step that foot back, dropping down to plank. From knees or from toes, holding plank for a moment. Taking a few breaths. And then pivoting to your modified side plank on your left. Left knee, left hand, or if you did this side last time, just make sure you do the other side. Reach the arm overhead so you have a long line from your heel through your fingertips. And then when you're ready, drawing knee to elbow. Exhaling as you draw it in, inhaling to extend. I quite like to do a sharp exhale through the nose as we do this. It really works that abdominal area. 2 more times. Last one. Good, pivot that back around, coming to hands and knees. Exhale, chest, chin, hips, all the way down. Inhale, coming up to cobra, lifting chest. Shoulders, opening the heart. Pausing for a moment here, maybe lifting the chin just a little bit, not throwing the head dramatically back, but just a little lift. And then press back, curl the toes under, coming to downward facing dog. Pausing here for inhalation and an exhalation. And when you're ready, stepping the left foot forward, coming to our high lunge on this side. Arms extend up, pushing back through that right heel, nice deep bend. Same thing here, pulling the arms down, finding that open cactus, and then reaching the hands behind the back, opening the chest towards the sky. Good, coming back to center, hands to the heart. Pivot on your heels, Bringing the toes out and just do little high lunges. So we're not going to go deep into it. Just high lunges, side to side. Good. I'm just going to turn around so my back isn't to you so you can see me. As you come back to the center, bring hands to hips, bring feet parallel. Hinge forward, drawing the belly button in. Find yourself parallel to the floor. Press into the outer edges of your toes. Well, I take that back. Notice your feet. For some of us, you're going to tend to roll in and you want to press the outer edges. If you notice you're rolling out, press the inner edges. See if you can bring your weight to all four corners of your feet evenly. Good. Bring the hands down to the mat. Walk the hands out in front of you and then push your hips back. So it's almost like kind of a wide stance, downward facing dog, but not quite as dramatic. Stretching the hands forward, pushing the hips back, letting the head go. Couple of breaths. Bend the knees here and then press back up. Just bending the knees and squeezing up. Couple more times. Good, and then pause that, walk the hands back in, grabbing opposite elbows, just let your head hang down. Release the arms, bend the knees, and roll yourself all the way up. Good, walk your feet together. You can face me or stay facing as you are. I'm gonna stay this way so you can see me. I feel like I'm chopped off, but that's okay. We're working down here. We're going to come to tree for Krasana as our balance tonight. So rooting yourself on your 2 feet, contracting your core so that you're stable and supported. I don't mind which leg you do first. Let's start with hands at heart center. Your tree can grow if you wish. Shifting your weight to your standing foot. I'm going to go to my right so it looks like my left if you're mirror imaging me. And bringing your foot to your ankle, to your shin or your calf, not your knee. Remember, if you want, you can bring it here to your inner thigh. If anyone would like, you can also bring that foot across your thigh. Depending on what you're wearing, it may or may not stay, so sometimes I have to hold it with my hands. So you decide. Your option. This is a deeper stretch if anyone wants it. Totally not necessary. You can keep hands at heart, or you can grow those arms up, shoulders down and away from the ears. Wherever you are, trying to stand tall. If your foot is pressing against your thigh, try to also press your thigh against your foot. You don't want your foot to win and pop your hip out. So pop your hip back in. It also really helps you stabilize. Taking a deep breath. Good. Bringing hands back to heart. Challenge option. Close your eyes. And then put your foot down whenever you're done. I usually last about 2 seconds on that. It's a really good exercise to do though. Okay, we're gonna go to the other side. So root yourself in 2 feet again, hands at your heart. Shift your weight to the opposite foot. Bringing your hand to calf, to ankle, not your knee, maybe to your inner thigh, or if you want, coming across your thigh. You might find you can do one on one side and the other prefers something different. In fact, speaking of that, I'm going to bring my foot to my inner thigh. So notice if I just push my foot against my thigh, my hip pops out. So what I want to do is try to engage this leg and actually actively push it against this foot. That number 1 stabilizes me. This is my much less stable side, so it helps me balance. And it also keeps me from putting my body in a weird alignment with that hip popped out. Again, if you want, you could grow your arms tall. I know those of you live can't see my arms right now. They're there, I promise. And then bringing hands to heart center. Challenge option, close your eyes. Until you can't anymore. Or maybe you can do this all day, but go ahead and put your foot down. Good. Inhale and exhale. Excellent. If you are not facing the top of your mat or at the top of your mat, go ahead and come back. So a little back bend here. So bring your hands to your hips. Hands could wrap around, hands can point down, fingers can point up. It does not matter. Press your hips forward as you contract your gluteal muscles. So you're really squeezing your butt and you're squeezing your quads. And you're pushing, pushing, pushing forward. And then draw your elbows towards one another. This begins to open your heart. And then you start bringing your gaze to the ceiling. And take a breath into your chest. And come back to vertical. Take an inhale. Extend up. Exhale. Really exaggerate your hinge forward. So think about that flat, flat, flat back. Reaching the crown of your head forward. And then release that all the way down. Option to grab your big toes. Option to put your hands under your feet, Padhastasana. So your fingers are in the middle of your foot, your toes are at your ankles. So you might have knees bent here, that's cool. Holding onto toes is fine too. You still might have knees bent. Wherever you are, work to straighten your legs, even if you don't get there. And gently use the strength of your arms to draw your head downwards. So once your legs are straight, you're really using your hands to pull you down. If you're working towards straightening your legs, you're really pushing against the floor to straighten them. Taking a deep breath. Good, and then when you're ready, go ahead and release the hands. Go ahead and let yourself hang. And then step one foot back, followed by the other, coming to plank or modified plank. Your option. I'll go ahead and come up to full plank for a moment. We're going to hold this for a moment, so do what's challenging or what feels right for you. Our one and only real plank for the practice. Definitely working your abdominal area. Go ahead and release that down. Lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, sliding out into Sphinx, pressing yourself up, bringing your hands together. Clasping them in front of you, rolling your shoulders down and back for a few leg kicks here. So we're going to contract our gluteal muscles. We're going to inhale and kick the right heel to our butt. 3, 2, 1, and release that back down. Other side, kick, kick, kick. It's an inhale to release, and then exhale, 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 or just one smooth exhale. Inhale. Last time each side, kick, 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 and release, and kick, 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 and release. Good. Lower yourself all the way down. Curl your toes under and push yourself up and back, coming to puppy pose. So your hands reach forward. Your hips sit back towards your heels. Your head drops to the mat. Maybe the crown of the head reaches the mat. Maybe it doesn't. Taking a breath here. Good, and then bringing yourself up. Coming to a seated position, opening your legs wide. Sitting once again, making sure you're really, often people like to say, like sort of move the flesh of yourself out from under you so you can sit up nice and tall, belly in, kneecaps to the ceiling, toes to the ceiling. Good, take a deep breath. We're gonna walk out, so just putting your hands on the mat in front of you. Think of hinging from your hips, leading with your chest. You're aiming your chest way out there on the mat. It's not gonna get anywhere close to there. That's okay, it's about intent. So you're just walking those hands out, continuing to flex the feet, keeping your head in neutral so you're not looking up, but you're also not dropping the crown of your head down. Pulling the belly button, and then you're pressing your hands into the mat, imagining that you're drawing your abdomen to the mat. So once your flexibility increases, the first thing that would happen is your belly would actually get pretty close to the mat. And then your rib cage, and then your chest, and then eventually your chin. And then you just hang out there. Okay, a couple of breaths here. Try to keep the toes up. Again, it depends on what your feet like to do. Mine always roll in, so I have to actively roll them out. But if you tend to roll outwards, then just be aware of that. Just try to keep those toes pointing to the sky. If you're working on flexibility, this is a good one to sit in for a long time. But we haven't got all night, so we're going to walk up out of that. Draw your left leg in, so leaving your right leg out there to the side, drawing the left leg in, and we're going to side bend from here. The right hand can go wherever. It can go on the thigh, it can come across the body. You just want it out of the way. And the left arm reaches overhead as you bend yourself sideways. So we're really trying to get the spine to curve sideways here. So think of like a tree, a sapling bending over. We don't want to twist it. We just want to reach to the side. So you're reaching for your toes, but more than likely you're not going to get there. And that's okay. Bring yourself up, press that right hand into the mat behind you, or left hand rather, pushing into the right heel, lift yourself up. So this is like our baby wild thing today. Reaching the right arm overhead, opening through the chest, through the hip. Deep inhale and exhale. And releasing yourself down. Switching sides, left leg comes out, right leg comes in, sitting tall. Bringing the left hand across the body or onto the leg, wherever you want it to go. It just has to be out of the way. Reaching the right arm over, looking past that armpit. Again, noticing that you should be looking towards the ceiling, not rounding towards the leg, right? Trying to keep the chest open. Taking a deep breath here. And then pressing yourself up. That right hand goes behind, pushing into the left heel, lifting up, reaching that hand over. Pressing hips up, opening the heart to the sky. Good, and bring yourself up. Come onto your knees. Tall on your knees, knees under hips. So just like we did a moment ago, back bending, standing, we're going to do it from here. Option if you want to go to camel. I'm not going to go all the way down to camel. Or I'm not going to require you to go to camel. But you could also put blocks here. So I'm going to show you how we start. If you feel like going to camel, then that's fine. So just like we did when we were standing, we want to contract our glutes, contract our thighs, and our hands come to our waist. You decide. I like wrapping mine, but that's just preference. They can come down like this, they can come up like this, whatever makes you feel supported. So imagine, a good way to practice this is against the wall. Imagine pressing your pelvis and your hips against the wall. Push them into the wall. They can't go any further forward, and they don't want to drift back. So push them into the wall, pull your elbows towards one another, begin to pull your shoulders back, open your chest towards the sky, and bring your head up. So when we back bend, we don't think, I'm going to back bend now. We think open our chest. They're all heart openers, the back bends. Keep pushing the hips forward. You don't want to end up angled back here because then you're not bending anymore, right? If anyone wanted to, you could bring one arm back. This is where blocks come in handy. My blocks are currently supporting the camera. But you could come to heels if that was an option for you. But again, what happens is your hips tend to drift back. Keep them forward. Maybe one more breath if you're still there. And then when you're ready, come on up. Come to hands and knees and just arch yourself up into a cat to counterpose that stretch. And then sit back onto your heels in child's pose. Head to the mat. And then go ahead and bring yourself up, coming to a seat. Hold on to the backs of your thighs and lower yourself down onto the mat, giving yourself a little rock from side to side. So I'm going to give you an option, because this is level 1. Your first option is going to be to do another bridge. And if you have a block, you can do supported bridge. So feet on the mat, close to your body, you're going to lift up into a bridge. And like I said, you can put anything under you here. A block, a pillow, anything so that you're supported and you're not working hard. Another option for you here is going to be to come into plow. So those of you who want to do plow, your hands are beside your body. You're going to lift up and over, bringing your feet behind you. They might not touch the floor. So this is one for the throat chakra. It's also where our thyroid is. And so they say that this helps, this followed by fish, which will do stimulate your thyroid and are good for metabolism. And if anyone wants to do shoulder stand, go for it. We're not going to stay here all that long because we're running out of time. I just wanted to get you one little energizing inversion. Inversions are great for clearing your head, bringing focus and clarity, increasing circulation. They both energize you and relax you, which seems counter, but rather than like a frantic energy, it's more of a chilled energy. So wherever you are, if you're in bridge, you can stay there for a second. If you are in plow, go ahead and slowly begin to roll down. If you're in bridge, go ahead and lower down. Everybody hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a little rock. And then sit on your hands. So bring your hands right under your glutes. Extend your legs long along the mat. Reach your hands like you're trying to reach your fingertips to your heels. So your arms roll under your body. Shoulders roll under your body and you start to open your chest. You can stay right here. This is like a half fish. If you want to come up to the deeper version of the posture, you're going to come up on forearms and then release your head. But make sure your head hits something. So either the floor or a block. You don't want your head kind of hanging in space. It's not great for your neck. You want it just gently brushing on the floor. And just take 1 or 2 breaths here. Sternum pointing towards the sky. If you're in fish, the crown of your head is on the mat, and so that's stimulating the crown chakra. Your throat is open, your heart is open, your abdomen is open. All of those things open to the sky. And then go ahead and release out of that. Give yourself a stretch. Arms overhead, legs down below. Bring the legs to one side, coming to a twist. Arms extend out. Bring the legs to the other side, coming to a twist on that side. Maybe 3 breaths. Coming back to center, release your legs long, bring your hands by your side, closing your eyes. Relaxing for just a moment in Savasana. Feeling your body grow heavy, trying to let go of any tension that you're holding in your body. And then one final time, drawing knees into your chest, roll yourself onto your left. Maybe your left arm extends and you rest your head on your left arm. Pause here for a moment in the fetal position. Everything that we've been doing has been very opening, chest opening and abdomen opening and throat opening, and this is a very safe, protected posture. So take a moment to feel the safety and the security of being in this position, protected, comforted, thanking yourself for your practice. And then with your eyes closed, pressing yourself up, coming once again to a seated position. It can be the same one or a different one from how you began. And then bring again a hand to your heart and a hand to your navel. And just as before, just take a moment. Imagine you're an outside observer of your own body. Notice your breath. Notice the air as it enters the nostril. Notice how it feels. Notice your heart rate. Notice all the way down to the cells of your body. Has there been a change in the vibration? Has there been a change of your energy? Notice areas of muscle tension. If you can remember what felt tight before, notice it now. Is it the same? Is it different? Is it worse? Is it better? Bring your gaze to the backs of your eyelids. And just take a few more slow breaths at your own pace. Bringing hands palm to palm at heart center. And then open your hands as if you're offering out. And take a few breaths there, offering your love and your compassion out to the world. That helps you to think of that loving kindness. We've offered it to ourselves, and now send it to your family, to your community, your loved ones. And then if you're able, out to the wider world, even those people that you don't necessarily love. Let go of any negative thoughts or emotions. Exhale them and blow them away. Bringing palms back together. And then bringing your thumbs to your third eye one last time. Om Shanti Om. I wish you all peace and love in your life. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me.